Yo, what's good, y'all? What's happening? All right, so let's get the ball rolling. All right. We're gonna have New York open here in a sec. Let me get my. I think I shouldn't have any issues. You know, international Wi-Fi here sometimes can drop off, but it's pretty solid over here. All right, what's good, everyone? Welcome. Let me start sending out. Obviously I didn't really give too much of an insight that I was going to be live, so no heads up at all. All right, cool. So what do you guys see? I mean, I have a couple ideas here that we can all dive into. For shorts, I have a couple actually that I'm still waiting for. I'm sure you guys kind of see something similar as well. All right, here we go. All right, so we're about 30 seconds out. Setting out my last message here. So the zones that I see, whether it's going to be Dow or it's going to be NAS, I would prefer to get a good short if we're going to get a setup like right here. This would be the best setup right there. Right there. Otherwise, I do have another one way up here. So these are kind of the two zones. If we stay trading below here, then this could play out very nice. Otherwise, we get one right up here. So let's see if we can keep trading below, and then we can see something like that. If not, if we kind of quickly work our way up, I am going to take it, but I'm going to just take a shot with less risk. Because it's still been trading below, just not for a ton of time per se. So let's zoom in here real quick. So this is the setup. You had the PPI sweep. The market comes down. We've traded below here for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. So we have been trading here for a bit, you know, some time. And whether it's Dow or NAS, I kind of like either or. We can even split screen this bad boy right here. Hold on. Everybody calm down. So we have, you know, it's a similar idea. I'm leaning more towards shorts with Dow. It looks like it's just slightly a little bit slower on the way up. You can see we're already bearish. Here it's still a little bit higher. You can use the fib tool. But yeah, that's kind of the idea. And we still have imbalance that we can work our way down to. There's still a little bit here that I think we can get to. There's liquidity over here as well. So I'm not necessarily here. There's multiple setups. We have sells, we have buys. We got a lot going on here. There's these indices, this whole tariffs era that we're in has introduced so much volatility that we can take advantage of. So if we are going to work our way down, let's say we just take our time and we don't pull back up, then I still like the buys over here too. But before we dive into more and before I keep going on and rambling, looks like, yo, you guys got on here quick. God damn. Y'all packed the live stream out real quick. Okay. I see y'all miss me, huh? Y'all miss me, huh? That's right. I see it now. All right, cool. Well, I love y'all too. Hola, what's up, Gio? Corey, ¿cómo están? Toda mi gente en español, díganme aquí, explótenme el canal. Quiero ver quién realmente tengo aquí conmigo de la TAM, de España. Déjenme saber. Pero básicamente me gustan un poco más las ventas con DAO y las compras quizás con NAS. What's up, Corey, Marcelo, Héctor, Carlos, Joe, Ryan, Carlos, Quereisha. Hey, felicidades, guys. Congrats. Want to congrats one of my longtime students, Michael. I think it was yesterday. I don't know what day it is anymore and what time zone we're in. But shout out to you, bro, for passing your funded. I know you've been battling that one out, so congratulations. My boy is funded. And also shout out to another one of my longtime students, Tom, who also not just got funded, but also is pending a payout. So congrats to you guys. It's just epic. 'Cause I love to see you guys winning. And then I see my boy Eric. I'm not even gonna. I didn't even ask you guys if I can share these things, so my bad. I just get hyped. I get hyped with you guys winning, and this is a battle. This is just such a battle to dominate the discipline and to get over, or just keep working on the emotional impulses, the struggles, and everything. Like it's easy to get into, and it requires a lot to really reap the rewards, at least consistently. So shout out to you, bro, Eric, as well. I know you've let's just say you're not doing too bad. All right. So yeah, good to see you on here. What's up, Kev? What's up, Puccini, Miriam? ¿Qué tal? Hello, Cody. What's up, brother? Linda, Nico, Portugal, Daniel. How are you, man? Omar Puerto Rico por aquí. We got Nancy Aguilera. Sounds familiar. Who's that? That's wifey right there. Venezuela, Colombia. All right, Florida. Un abrazo. ¿Qué tal, Fer? ¿Cómo estás? Venezuela. Okay. Congrats. Yes. Oh, Michael, is that you on Quereisha's YouTube? That's hilarious. What's up, man? All right, anyways. So let's get back into it. Well, let me make sure these settings are all good. Actually, I don't even know if I can be showing you these settings. I'm probably like, y'all can just hack this stream or something now. But we'll see. Okay, so I'm sure you guys have. Actually, I want to know in the chat here. And let me see if I can turn this little camera thing on. I'm in like a hilarious position. I'm like all scrunched up here. Let me see if I can get this camera on. You guys, I'm on the mobile. I'm mobile here, so got the laptop going. Got no cool setup or nothing. Y'all just gonna see me here like scrunched up. Oh my god, it's the worst camera. Look at this. There's like no light at all. I look dark, bro. Like I did get a tan, but this is not a proper reflection. Nah, we're just gonna have to go camera off. Sorry, guys. I look like I was not born where I was born. All right, we're gonna go camera off. Bad lighting, and I'll have to get a different setup when I go live again later. Maybe Monday. But okay, anyways. Yeah, I went like 8 shades darker, apparently, according to that camera angle. But all right. But yeah, so with these setups, I'm gonna wait for it to sell here. I'm gonna zoom in again just because clearly we are establishing some pretty good demand down here. So waiting for sells in the zone, and then I'm gonna make this visible a slightly higher time. Wait, why is this here? It shouldn't be here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So as you guys can see, between NAS and DAO, Nas has been, or Dow Jones here on the left side of the screen has been pushing a bit more bearish. So it's maintaining this lower low, lower high, lower low, maintaining this bearish structure. The buy position that popped the market up here, I think this is where we're going to get a better opportunity for sells. So it looks like it's going to be slower to work its way higher. And you can tell because it's also faster to work its way lower. So I'm going to be shooting for a short on Dow. And then I will be targeting quite a few points here. So any shorts in this range, let's say 39,950 or 940, whatever. Yeah, your boy's going to go for a couple thousand points on this one. So I am going to be shorting down to 38,250-ish. So about 1,700 points is going to be it. Actually, scratch that. I'm going to only target these lows here. Target this Asian session lows into this imbalance. So we'll go for about 750 points. Still will be a fantastic risk reward. So we're going to go for something like that instead. Yeah, we're going to go for this. Hold on. And then, yeah, I'm going to go back to one screen so you guys have a better perspective. See the chart a little cleaner. And here we have some imbalance. We have liquidity, so we can get some reversals out of this zone. If we want high probability exits, this is going to be the place to do it, right in this imbalance. So short like this looks Gucci to me. Why does this have to be this way? We get priced a little bit above, not a crazy amount, but a little bit above there. This does a better job at clearing the highs. NASDAQ does, but price action is better on Dow. So I'm going to shoot my shot with US 30 instead. Take a shot here, and then I'm going to target below this. So we're looking at around 4.6 or so risk reward. I don't love the how close this is here, so I'm gonna drop my risk a little bit. Yeah. ¿Qué esperas hoy? Como que prefiero un poco más la venta con Dow que con Nasdaq. Como que viene subiendo un poco más lento Dow y Nasdaq tiene un poco más de fuerza. Entonces por eso es que como que prefiero un poco más la idea con Dow. But this is lagging. Why are you so slow? Okay, there we go. Gang, what's up, discipline? Discipline in numbers and letters. And we got this one. Yeah, so between NAS and Dow, the shorts over here look good. I'm leaning more towards Dow, but if you are going to take a swing at NAS, if it is pushing a little bit, like initially a little bit faster, maybe have a slightly more open stop, whether it is Dow or NAS. So we could actually probably push this up a little bit more. And then targeting this liquidity looks good. GU looks almost identical. So I did send out a short. I talked about this probably before I flew out. Maybe. No, definitely not. But if you're on if you're a member and all that good stuff, then we did go over this during the week. So this just played right out of the zone, gave it a little kiss here, and then worked its way down. So this I would consider a mitigation already. So if you're not in the GBP USD short that we already went over, then then I would kind of wait and see if we get another version on a smaller time frame. So if let's say we zoom in on GBP USD, you get a little bit of a sweep here. It works its way down. I think we already played out of this imbalance, so I would want some confirmation that GBP USD is going to continue to confirm bearish structure. Yeah, so this is one idea for GBP USD. However, I will add that out of the majors, it's not the best setup. So let's see here. I wonder what the lag is right now between on here. All right, just keeping an eye out here on Dow and NASDAQ. I don't want us to miss it. Okay. So yeah, here's GU. So nice pullback. NZD in Euro has been flying. NZD USD, it actually got to this zone already, which is another potential short that I was looking for. However, AUD USD. AUD USD is way slower on its way up. And here we saw another push on the 3rd before everything came working its way back down. What I don't like about AUD USD though is that it has quite a bit of liquidity here. So the shorts that I initially wanted to see, they're not even looking very good anymore, to be honest. Now, unless I'm looking at, and I'm gonna take a look at futures, the Australian futures, because if this looks a little different, then maybe we take a swing. Ooh, and it kind of does. Okay. Well. Futures strike again. What do we have over here? Yeah, okay. So Australian. I'll get back to this. There's no rush at all. Okay. So Dow still hasn't met the area that we're looking for shorts. I think NAS is leading bullish, so it's probably if you want to take NAS, it's probably gonna trigger first. So I wouldn't. I'm going to be taking Dow. Your boy is now just waiting. Okay, so we're getting pretty close. I will say that once it gets into the zone and it triggers, if we get a quick reaction, I'm gonna definitely make sure to manage this very effectively. This liquidity that is leaving behind is a pretty good sign. So the buy from PPI was around 180 points. So if we get back into here and we do a nice little 180 point drop, I'm going straight to stop to entry. What do you guys have in mind here? How y'all looking at this? What's the mindset? Are you looking to take this? Are you going to stay out? How are y'all feeling with this idea? Let me know. I like that, y'all. Some of you are like, hey, I'm in the process too. Congratulations to y'all. I love it. It's the kind of energy we need. Okay, so now Dow officially in the area here. It can drop from here. It's valid for the short. So I just opened my sell here. All right, I'm in there. Let's see if we get a drop. And then where does that leave NAS? NAS go up as well. So NAS is okay. Yeah, NAS is sitting right in there. There's a chance that it holds and it also drops. Maybe it wakes up. We'll see. But Dow, again, because it's lagging, looks like I'm going with my setup here. Right now, we've only dropped a small amount, maybe 50 points or so. So let's let this thing, you can see if it wants to continue. Yeah, once it drops like right around here, then it stops to break even. Let's see if this is gonna hold or not. For all we know, it can clear a little bit higher and then do its thing. So I have my stop like right there. We're about 12 minutes after the open. This 15-minute candle will probably give quite a bit of a indication on where we want to move. So we'll get a better sign on whether we're going to be in kind of a bearish trending, at least for the next, couple hours or so, or if the push down that we got here was also another version of a liquidity sweep and then rally, because that's totally a possibility. If you look at NAS, like NAS here after New York, or before even New York opened, it worked its way lower, and then it still kind of made a mess of it, support, liquidity. So we're, it's still definitely a possibility that this ends up, coming down. So let's see. Oh, look at that. Okay. Pulled up a little higher. Now, here's the thing, right? You have to be completely at peace with the outcomes here, okay? Like if your stop, you're not fully committed to, then you're already lost. You know what I mean? Okay. So we're starting to get a decent reversal. Starting to see a nice little move down. Market from up here. We've dropped about 100 points. I did want to see a little more. Oh, you know what? This is like right there. So it's actually a few minutes after PPI. There, it popped off one last time. But anyways, yeah, so let's see if we get the next push down. What's NAS looking like? Funny enough, price action looks a little bit better on NAS now. So let's see if this extra little cushion we gave here on US 30 is enough for a short. Otherwise, there's a higher time frame setup that I have anyways. And because of the way that we traded down here, I was like, I'm looking at this and I think this is one of those indications where we did trade below for about 20-25 minutes. We left liquidity, and like I mentioned, I approach this with a little bit less risk than I normally would, just because of how quickly we worked our way higher. And then the pump to the upside was about 180 points. So if we do work our way down, get a nice little imbalance fill down here, then that's when I'd go break even. The entry wasn't the absolute best, so I think I'm going to tighten up instead of going to break even. I haven't done it yet, but I am looking to so soon. So as this comes down, and this is small time frame, fast paced trading. I wouldn't call it scalping because the exit doesn't necessarily have to be super quick, and this is premeditated, predetermined entry model, so this is nothing unusual. The goal isn't like, oh, let me just get in and out. There's a purpose, an intention, a model behind the entry, and then there is a purpose behind the exit, which could be short, 15 minutes. Sometimes it could take hours. Depends on kind of where everything's at in the way that we're trading. So right now, I haven't necessarily adjusted my stop yet. Let me just take a look and see at what we've done. Okay, so we kind of closed this big pump that we saw here. So that was the reaction that we got right there. To me, this looks like it's, it is a version of mitigation just based on how aggressively we dropped, and it looks like it closed this out. So I am gonna just tighten up here, and then this way I'm cutting my loss significantly down in a worst case scenario. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, tighten up my stop a little bit to here, which is pretty nice. And then now, worst case, it's like a little bit like a half RL. Best case, I mean, this thing can just run. And let me take a look at NAS real quick. Okay, Nas looks like it mitigated completely. This big one there. Drop right there. So yeah, this looks like we had a couple minutes after they had that big push up here. This looks like it rejected really well. So I'm cool with it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, and at least it's a very small loss, you know, super small. And that's the nature of this, at least 1 minute time frame entries and everything like that. It's just quick. So if we get another push down. Also, another cool thing about trading out here in Bali, or just living out here, doesn't really matter what you're doing out here, is there's just vegan food everywhere. Like protein-rich vegan food, and it's fucking awesome. Like you can get sufficiently jacked out here regardless of your nutritional intake. So, no excuses. You have, no way to bitch out. Okay, so getting real close over here. If you're gonna keep your stop open, cool. I think we already got the reaction, and so it is what it is. I took a super tiny little loss here on this idea. We'll see if I tightened up too quickly, and I could have just let this breathe, but yeah, I basically, since we saw this move here we saw like the big push. This is where I just, once we saw this reaction, if it was going to play out, like, all right, it probably would have. Everything else is pretty efficient, so we'll see if I'm going to end up paying the price for that one. But at this point, I'm pretty okay with it. The New York Open, or not, the PPI play was from down here, made more liquidity, and then one next move. So that's what this is right there. That's how I'm looking at it. That's how I decided to go with this movement. However, PPI starts here, so I might have made the wrong decision. It looks like that might be the case by doing so, because the entire move from PPI was this, though, 185 and change. So now that we're seeing that loss of momentum, and it hasn't fully mitigated PPI, so in reality, I really could take another position at this anyways. So what I did is, since I'm seeing that price is not having demand here, and we haven't fully mitigated this, I am going to take another swing at this, and then my stop is going to be right there. So here, and then yeah, we'll see. So I just opened another position after getting stopped out by a little. It's giving good signs on the small time frames that there's just not that much demand here, and so, and since originally I took a small entry at this, I went ahead and took a small loss. Went ahead and took another swing at this, and we'll see if this ends up turning into another wick. Work its way back down, or I'm just gonna blow the whole account. So we'll see. Okay, let's see, 5 minute, some more doji action. Now let's say this continues to rally. The other setup that looks good is over here. And this is the one that I was waiting for yesterday. Yesterday we saw a nice sweep here. This happened during London session. So London session took out the highs on Dow Jones, and the market just melted away. We end up just consolidating, just creating liquidity over here without coming back up. So at some point in time, whether it's sooner or later, I think we can get back to this zone as well. red over here. So this is pending. We got this bad boy here active. Okay. All right, while this is all, while that's just doing whatever it's doing, let it move. AUD USD, which is Australian futures. The short here looks sexy to me, especially because it's lagging behind. So yeah, this looks good. On AUD USD with CFDs, it looked more like liquidity, like equal highs. But as we looked at futures looks a lot better. It gets into the zone, it rebalances, it drops. I definitely see the opportunity. And here was the equal highs, the liquidity that it was building up right into there. Let's see this next little push. So we can now narrow down the sell zone. And I'm going to come back to Australian futures, AUD USD, because we have Dow Jones. Hey, buddy. You want to go down some more? We can see this work. See if it wants to just melt away. Just this is what you want to do. Follow this little digital hand down. Okay, so as you all see, we have now seen the market push down about 170 points. This here looks like imbalance, so it'll probably keep pushing. At this point in time, if you want to tighten your stop or go completely break even, I think it's a good time to do that. And now we're in a new hour, so you're starting to see way more volatility here. Look at that, just like that, you started to see the market work its way down. Looks like we're sitting at roughly, let's see, what are we looking at here? About a 1R. All right, not too shabby. Not too shabby over here. Well, 1R action. Some of you maybe hit your exit already. Not necessarily my exit, but maybe it's yours. And then from here, if this thing wants to keep on moving, you have easy targets like the liquidity that you have right there, or the next target that's here. Now the first target is this imbalance that we see here, which is also why reducing your risk, going break even is a good idea. Because now the money that came in, now came out. Entonces chicos, en español, a este momento ya pueden reducir riesgo, proteger sus entradas, como gusten. Pueden, si digamos tienen mentalidad de salir de una forma más conservativa, pues ya lleno imbalance, entonces puede ser que quiera dar reversas al mercado, como lo está haciendo en el momento. Si esto va a seguir, va a buscar liquidez. So my mindset with this is, because the buy orders that liquidated positions have now come into the market, this is the minimum that I guess the market could quote unquote exchange. We've seen that, right? So from here, the rebalancing, if you wanted to be very conservative, that's the move right there. Like, that's it. That was the play. Minimum. Now, I do think we have liquidity that you can target as a 3R. This is a fantastic exit. Again, also I would say a high probability exit. Price is very efficient below this liquidity as well, which is also why I think the liquidity here and this imbalance is the true push. So the question is, what will you do? What's your personal trading preference with your exits. How do you guys like to go about this? And then if you're up a nice little bag ski, what's up? Let me know. Drop it in the chat. If you took profits, if you're already out, and how, did you make some money? Did you make $1? Let me know. Maybe you're up a couple percentages on your fundeds. Let your boy know. I want to see those wins. Did you do it disciplined? That's the most important part of any of this. Did you do it the right way? Because if you didn't do it the right way, then it's going to be a short-lived victory. It's not that sustainable victory that we want. The NASDAQ shorts played out beautifully too. We love this. Added to R, up 700. Ooh, okay. Yeah, you're seeing a buy here, right, on NAS, 18100. I can see that. This is the one that you're looking at. I see you, my boy. Tacos el día de hoy. We're up a couple tacos. I love that. That's the love language. If that's not a love language, I don't know what is. Who's up a couple tacos? Burritos, enchiladas. Are we up? Can we feed the entire family? And then some of you, maybe you're feeding the extended family. Just got out. Okay, up 3 to 5. Stop currently at break even. Talk dirty to me, Cody. You're talking that language. Okay, so look at this. The market's rebalancing nicely. This is where we're starting to lose a little momentum. Fair. Expected over here. Okay. Now, if you have your, I have my stop here. I've reduced my stop completely. Remember when I took that second entry, I took it right over here. So I'm all good. I'm going to hold because I love going break even, bro. So I know that's definitely a student of mine right there. I love going break even, so I'm just going to hold this thing and not pay myself. Oh, man. It's a different type of environment, huh? It does look like NAS's price action is better. It looks like we're seeing a smoother drop for NAS than we're seeing down. Up dinner for the whole fam. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go. Feed the fam. I gotta feed Nancy, and she eats for the whole family, so gotta get the gains in. However, if I go break even here, then we're just gonna have to fast. I'm up half my rent. Oh damn. Okay. Vicente. This is our way of communicating here. We speak in food and assets. Soon gonna be up a mortgage, up a property here, or maybe your love language is freedom. Travel. Hey, I'm up a flight. I'm up free Wi-Fi I'm up the Wi-Fi on the flight. Couple dirt bikes. Let's go. Maybe a trip. Or hey, I'm up enough for a bottle of water, which looks like that's what it's gonna be here for me. Mom, I have to return. Good thing we already got our massages, because it is what it is. Which is awesome, guys. If you're ever in Asia, just know that the massages here are like $0 basically, and it's amazing. All right, so looks like, at least for me, for those of you that took the 2 R's, ooh, you might be the ones today. You might be the ones that took the wins. Look at you being all successful. I mean, this could hold, but we shall see. Nas looks like it's got, if it would hold, maybe Nas has a chance of staying within if you have here. Otherwise, looks like break even trades. For those of you that exited in the imbalance, which was the most conservative exit, the highest probability exit, you are for sure the winner here. I wouldn't go any re-entries. I wouldn't take any more trades or anything like that. The way that we went our way down here, it was too quick for me to go, hey, I'm going to get in again. So that's definitely not the approach that I would have. If you trade different, then that's on you. However, I wouldn't get in again, just because if I were to get, let's say for example, a second entry, I would have wanted to see this maintain the level really well. For those of you that want reduced risk on NAS, I think you're still holding up. For those of you that went reduced risk on Dow, you're also still living to tell the tale. You may be up just the toppings on a taco now. So we'll see. Look like it'll be the bus again. Yeah, we went from the dirt bike back to having to buy the daily pass for the bus, or maybe you're hitchhiking. And then for those of you practicing, you're in the demo grind, then it's really, again, the game that what we're developing is taking the proper systems, trading in a way that is the most effective, which is because you're either building your system and you're experimenting with different facets, different aspects of your model. So whether it's your entries, your exits, all that good stuff, and you're kind of just building more and more data. That's the point. Is this working, and how often? And maybe you learn from me, maybe you learn from other people, but you go, okay, this entry is supposed to work. Here's all the data to prove it, or not. These exits, this is, you're just building up so that you gain a lot more confidence. So whether you're doing that with demo, or you're doing that with your live account, or your challenges, or your fundeds, whatever, just make sure that's the biggest focus that you have, is you're doing that. Do you have an eye on any stocks at the moment with the current volatility? Yeah. I bought. What did I buy the other day? I know I bought some Nike. Stacking some Nike. I know I bought some Tesla. A little bit of Tesla, not a lot, just a little. What else did I get? Dollar cost averaging Coinbase. Let's go over it. Let's go see. Let's take a look-see here. Dow, hey buddy, welcome back. All right, maybe we will eat today. So let's go look at some stocks here. What did we get? Bought some Delta. I'm missing the biggest one though. The biggest, I know I took a position on something, and I don't know why I don't remember. Etsy. That's what it is. Etsy. I took some positions here. I don't know. I was waiting a while, man. I've been waiting a minute for this one. So Etsy, if you guys, this is like the digital marketplace for just whatever, like tons of cool stuff. Anything you want, really. So yeah, we had a lot of last point of supply right around here, right around 40. So I just took some entries. I bought some shares on this one here. And then, yeah, I'm in there. So, feel good. Probably buy some more today. I'll have to take another look. But Etsy's looking good to me. All right, worked our way down again. A Dow. It's getting choppy over here. Who's still holding whether it's Dow or NASDAQ? Hey, my sister just texted me. What's up, Ari? Hi, if you're still on. I love you too. Lit. Little sis here plugging in. It's so cool. I gotta say, I'm definitely blessed with my family. Like, Nancy trades, not that that really is why I'm blessed, but like, it was just cool. Like, Nance trades, my dad trades, my brother trades, my sister sometimes trades. Gotta get her locked in again. We'll see if the stream itself, hey, the stream, y'all throw some words of encouragement and let's gently peer pressure my sister to start trading heavy again, because she's a beast at it. You really got to get back into it. I've seen it. Very, very disciplined. All right, so yeah, Dow, Nas. Let's see this squeeze. Here's the thing too. What I want you guys to recognize in between. It's funny. I can talk about one or two assets for so long because there's just so many things that you can really learn about how the market works, just by seeing what it's doing. But you see how we've been small time frames consolidating. You zoom out a little bit, and you can also see like, oh, this has been chopping up on the for the last day basically. So when you see this happening and going this way, what's cool is that big movement is coming again. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens today, but we can break out of this and create quite a bit. So you could expect some big movement considering the liquidity that we have here. It would be nice if we don't work our way higher beforehand and we don't clear this out and we just melt. So there's a lot of upside to that. And that's why trading is so cool, because what you can do is you can just create so much more upside to your positions than a downside. Like, you can control your downside so much, and you can keep your upside open significantly. Now, you don't want to trade out of hope or anything like that. Obviously, it's not really useful. It's not like you're not doing anything long term if you're just like, well, hopefully this works out. Then how do you know when you should take a smaller risk reward, like maybe you did here with your 2Rs? Or how do you know when you have a green light to hold your trade for a lot longer? And if you're just kind of hopeful, then you don't have a system. And if you don't have clarity, if you don't have a system like that, then you don't really have duplicatable results and outcomes. It also makes it harder for you to stay patient for your system to play out. And that just drives so much inconsistency, and more than anything, it drives a lot of just that mental struggle. And you may think that you're not good, or you might be getting frustrated, but there's something that you guys want to understand, and it's this phrase called expected value, right? It's like an expected return, and these expected values, this is, okay, well, how often should you be winning? So is it 6 out of every 20 trades, maybe 7, 10 out of every 20 trades? And then when you understand that that's basically based on your entries, based on your exits, that that's roughly what it should look like, then when you go and you won, you know, 2 of the last 7 trades, well, okay, that's just a few trades. Let it run. All of a sudden, you take another 10 trades, and then now you're evening out again, and the numbers look like what the numbers should look like. Or if you have a very, for example, one of the most common things, especially with smart money traders, is they get a lot of clarity on their entry, but they don't have a clarity on what their exit is. So you feel like it's almost unfair because you go into profit often, but then you don't know where you should get out. So it's a struggle. And you may need to just change your exit strategy, and it can completely change the way that you're getting your outcomes, you know, how often you're getting paid, or maybe you go, hey, you know what, I have a higher risk reward and I don't take profit as often, but it happens enough so that it's actually okay that I don't, because if every, you know, 2 or 3 out of 10 trades you hit the 5 R's, then all right, it was worth it. But you need that data. You know, you need to have that sort of that proof, and that you build it with time. So stay patient, my friends, stay patient. There is a lower time setup on the Dow. What do you think about it? I can't send a link. It happened at 10:22 a.m. PCT, PST, 10:22. I'm gonna assume that you're in Pacific time. 10:22, which is 12:22, which is right over here. Yes, this is what you're looking at. Yeah, so I think this could be a nice little thing. I think you're looking at this, right? Yeah. Okay. We can zoom in there. I think the initial sell-off happens like right over here. So we see like big drops, rally, then you get like the one more drop and then an imbalance. Here Cody says, for real, my win percentage is around 30%, but my average RR is 4.72. That, you see that? You see how Cody knows his numbers like that? That's how you know. This guy knows what the fuck he's doing. You gotta know these things. And the more you understand it, the more likely it is that you're gonna just give yourself the grace to win, to lose, to go break even. Because you know, for example, out of 10 trades, he's like, all right, maybe I win 3, but guess what? The 3 that I win are bangers. And so what happens? And that might not even mean that you're losing the other 7. The other 7 might be 3 or 4 might be losses, 3 or 4 might be break evens. Nas stopped me out by 2 points and now runs trolling. Yeah, it went for you, Tom. Your positions are too massive. They have to go get you back. Time to revenge trade. Oh god. Okay, so yeah, so we have there's definitely you definitely get reversals around here, whether it's Dow, whether it's Nas. You know, you guys know the drill. For me, I'll take the one that's lagging. So Nas is definitely ripping. Good movement here. So I'm gonna set alerts down here as well. All right, here we go. Got alerts over here. Just closed. Based. Okay, so at this point, I feel pretty confident in this liquidity sweeping. Also, now if you did take Dow, understand that you are not in the most ideal asset between the indices. Nas for sure decided to be the bearer, the more bearish off the rip. So for what does that mean? That means that Dow is slightly slower on the way down. So you can be, if you're adjusting your stops, I would definitely have my stop. Like, do not let this one turn into a loser by any means anymore. Like, don't. I would not do that. Yeah. Keep those stops nice and friendly over here now. Put yourself in a winning position at this point. And if you're NAS instead, then you're definitely doing mighty fine. The buy that I prefer would be Dow instead of NAS. Anyone ever just be like, man, I think right now looking at the chat and some of the some of the things I'm reading here, some of y'all are like, I wish I had a time machine, bro. Okay. Chicos, aquí los que tengo en español, ¿cómo van, chicos? El primer punto salido bueno que veo aquí. Si quieren empezar a pagarse, díganme por acá. ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal? The fam eating ramen tonight. It's all good. Sick. All right, anyone closing at this point of liquidity? And if not, who's holding longer? Remember, again, you guys know I like to keep it here. I like to give reminders on things because it's what we need more often than anything. But if you held longer, doesn't mean you're better or worse. If you hit break even, doesn't mean you're better or worse. It's just the plan that you're following. That's it. That's literally it here. Holding NAS still. Okay, Will Wang. Very nice. Follow my plans, it makes you feel good. There you go. Excelente, Mike. Quiero aprender de ti. Pronto abro espacios. Pronto. Estoy viajando mucho ahorita, entonces no voy a arrancar full, pero deme unas semanitas. Follow the plan. Let's go. All right. Here we go. Where's this thing? One sec. Now, if you learned something, let me know. Let me know if you learned something in here so far. Whether this is free, so I don't even gotta pay for this one. I want to see whether it's management, entries, patience, risk. Maybe you're just building more confidence in your overall approach to the things that you're doing. Yeah, and if you did learn something, then I would love to hear it. So I'm gonna do here in a second. I'm gonna drop a link so that you guys can drop your testimonials. Obviously I'm doing this. This is for free. There's no ads running or anything like that on here. So if y'all can bless your boy with just what you've learned. If you made any money today, anything like that, it would be amazing. So I'm gonna drop the link here in the chat, and then it means the world to me if you guys can share that in here. Do you have a detailed video on how you trail your profit for those big RRs? I would have to double check. Usually, if we're doing small time frame, and I can break it down right now. But so, where's mitigation on NGD USD? Let me do one thing at a time. I'll get to you, Greg. How you doing, bro? So when it comes to the, let's say, wider risk reward setups that you like, it's easier to manage when you're reducing your stop. Instead of going break even right away, you're just basically once price. So here, we'll give an example. Here here was the high when it got into our mitigation zone. The market then dropped, right? So if we go back, I'm gonna just go use the bar replay tool here so we can kind of relive this once again. Some of you may be reliving pain, others may be rejoicing. So what happens? Triggers, squeezes, bigger, we squeeze for 10 minutes, 12 minutes, dumps. Fantastic. Then, what is this? This is imbalance. So if I know there's an imbalance here, however, I do believe in the overall exit, then instead of moving my stop to wherever I entered, I would just move it to the nearest point of structure. So there it is. So what happens, this is what I did here. Stop goes to there, market comes up, rebalances all of this. Okay, fantastic. And then we work our way down. Now I still don't have lower lows here, so I just keep it here still. But this is completely rebalanced everything. So you could move it here, but I would keep it there. Now if we get lower lows, then I would move it down. What happens here? Cool. It then does give us the lower low. So then if you have a just further that you want to take it down, then now you can move your stop to this low right here, this structure. Here is our lower high. So now the stop goes there. This is how you give trades the chance to run. This allows you to, you do give a lot more back if it does take you out break even, so you have to be at peace with that. However, it does give you the best chance. This is best to do when you're trading alongside the higher time frames. When you're with the overall trend, it's the best thing that you can do. If you've chosen the right asset class, also the best thing to do. In this case, the NAS is moving a bit more bearish than Dow is, so this actually would have worked better with NAS. In this case, we just happened to, it's working out. But yeah, so that's kind of how I would approach these types of, that is how I approach these types of setups. Okay, so yeah, hey guys, appreciate you all that are filling out testimonials. Just takes a sentence or two. Obviously you guys are learning here with me for free, taking trades, making money, whatever. Becoming more disciplined, refining your system. So take a minute or two to just fill that out, and it's it means a lot. And if you do a video testimonial, then I will send you a free trading journal. Okay, thanks. So yeah, Greg, with NZD/USD, and I'm gonna wrap up here soon. Everyone now is in winning trade, worst case break even. So I'll probably wrap this up here in a little bit, but I'll give you guys a bit more sauce before we finish up here. The mitigation, I believe we already had it here. So you saw the market push up about 50 pips or so, and then you see this bad boy drop well over 50 pips. So I would have my stop at, if you did take a trade, then I think you could go break even. But what I will say is, ahora me puedes comentar algo en español. Básicamente lo solo estaba diciendo cómo estábamos ajustando aquí el stop loss y cómo reducir, cómo ir apretando a base de estructura para proteger para darle la mejor oportunidad para respirar y correr la idea. But yeah, Greg, with NZD/USD, if you remember what we've gone over with trading the lagger, AUD USD definitely is the slower bull. So we're waiting and looking for possible setups with AUD instead. And then I know if you trade futures, then you're looking at Australian futures, which is 6A, and the opportunity is way up here. But it does look pretty good. And then that is right over here. So if we zoom in on Australian futures, what we see is the pump happened April 3rd, Thursday, so about 8 days ago. And then from here we see the sweep, sideways movement, imbalance, continuation. So closing out from here and seeing a short has some potential right over here. And as I zoom out, we get a better understanding on structure. So not only did it sweep the highs and then work its way lower, but what we got going on here is that it doesn't just trade down here for like a couple hours. You know, we're trading bearish. It's over here for Friday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So for the majority of it's like, you know, half of the week, we trade bearish. Now, yes, we are working our way up. We have days where the market's holding up here. I do still like the sell here for Australia. Sterling work as always. I appreciate you, Greg. It means a lot, man. And then, yeah, look at this guy's Dow building up more liquidity. I would, oh, this is, here, if you want to draw straight lines, remember you can use the shift button and then just draw it over. Hold the shift button if you want to draw it straight, horizontal lines. So good exits here if you're holding, if you took Dow to here. I think this is a great, well, now it's going up, but this is a great place to exit considering it was the NASDAQ is kind of slower to drop. Or fast, NASDAQ is faster to drop. Dow is dropping less aggressively. So sometimes these pullbacks happen. If you're looking at this, market is continuing to show us bearish behavior. More liquidity down below. As of now, it looks like the buy setups look much better with Dow. The NAS, however, just hold it, just wait. Have your alert set. Pongan alertas aquí para las compras y ahí dejen que eso llegue. Cuando llegue, disparan. So yeah, so Australian, mark this up, have this marked up. I'm curious to see what happens the rest of the day because the week closes on Australian future AUD down here. And we start off and we hold structure very well. A lot of demand down here for days. And then we have Wednesday, Thursday, and today go right back up. So the weekly candle is going to look like an absolute mess right now. And because this worked its way back to these COVID levels down here, still more imbalance left. So we just might keep working down. However, we don't have to swing trade something like this. No, you don't have to swing this. There's a lot of imbalance here. So if this ends up, you know, just continuing to do its thing, for all we know, we can get a good bounce. The market goes to here, and then you just collect a few R's and then let it do its thing. So we'll see how this all continues to evolve. However, there's definitely imbalance here, so at some point we'll probably get back over here. Okay, last thing I'm going to go over is Bitcoin. BTCUSD. Well, there's a buy mitigation setup that happened last night. Would you take it? What time zone are you in? Or what? If you can just, oh, here. Yeah, okay, I see it. Asian session, lows. Then this thing rallies. So what was this here? Yeah, we had some, I remember this now. We definitely had some action like this. Dow, indices made liquidity while crypto did not with this move. Very interesting. Yeah, this is moving pretty decent. And crypto with New York Open was a lot more bullish. Big move. And then down. Yeah, it's got a lot more to push down here for Bitcoin, for crypto in general. Would I take the buy here? I like it. Hold on. Okay, so 15-minute, we get higher highs here. Demand is built out throughout hours. Imbalance mitigates. Oh, that's interesting. So Bitcoin, Bitcoin does get back to, so yesterday when New York session was going wild, Bitcoin gets back to the push down, that sweep. You know how, remember there was like, Trump was like, hey guys, you guys should buy stocks. It's like a good time to do that. And then it totally did do that. So crypto got back here. Nice. And then efficient markets, market runs. Right now it just kept going and going and going. We trade up here for a bit. What I'll say is this, with this Bitcoin play, could you get a bounce? Yes. Is it going to necessarily just keep flying? I don't love a swing idea. I would take like an intraday low play here. Maybe a little bounce, take it a 1,000 points or so, 1,000, maybe like 1,000, 1,500 pips or so, and then let it run. I don't think this is over. Bitcoin to 65K, I think that's possible. I have, so yeah, my take on this is, I think we can get back to basically below 72.5. I'll definitely start pushing a little heavier around 70 and below. There's definitely some mitigation setups here. There's the imbalance over here. I don't see it going below 63, 64 too much. And then that's about it. Yeah. Soy indio. Entendido. Yeah, so I don't think it's over. I know a lot of people, with the way that indices bounced, was it yesterday? Like when you see a daily candle like this, and it was a glorious 11% candle on Dow. I think NASDAQ rallied like something similar, like 15%. S&P, and these are all historical days, 13%. Or I guess from the open, it's total it was 13. From the open it was less, but all big days. Amazing. I love it. And I think it's just like that's the problem though. Everyone just like, oh, big day, it's over, carry on, And I don't know. I just see liquidity down here still. There's still retail. I don't think retail is just gonna get this easy of entries. Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't think that's the case. At the end of the day, I'm gonna trade what I see, not what I feel, not what I necessarily believe. I'm gonna just trade the system. So that's what we shall continue to do. However, right now I am leaning more towards shorts, and I'm cool with taking positions and exiting. And if I have a new setup, then we'll continue to do that. I sold 10K in 84K to buy again at 65. I hope it plays out for you. I truly do. Cool. All right, guys. Great session. Again, if you can just share, your testimonials here with me. The video testimonials do get, so if you do a video testimonial, obviously I'm going to get it. Shoot me a message on Instagram, and then I'll make sure I send that to you for the free ski. I know a couple people have already done that, and they've already seen it. And I just want real, authentic ones, guys. You don't write something weird or fake, like, don't overhype it. I just want to know, like, you learning something. Did you pass accounts? Did you start withdrawing? Are you part-time now, full-time? Whatever. Just the truth. All right, keep it real. All right, much love, y'all. I will possibly see you all here for Monday Asian session. Otherwise, I will be here next Friday. So